What's up, everybody? I am back once again for another episode of VETS Talk. Today, I have with me the one and only Danny. I'll let him tell you his full name, but he like Danny, so I'm gonna call him Danny. But anyway, we're gonna talk about we say military evaluation, but it's more like medical evaluation. Basically, it's what you need to do. But when you're getting out in the military, and they send you to do all kind of tests. You go do this one, another one, and like you keep going back and forth from different clinics and stuff like that. So sometimes it's good to know, okay, what's going on, what are the information they're looking for, what's what is the process. So basically, that's what we're going to do this afternoon. I hope you get a chance to watch this video, and I hope you get a chance to watch us live. If you are live, just say hello, so we can see you here and get you recognized for being down here with us. So we're not gonna stay for long. Let's just hit D right now. Danny, what's up, brother?
What's up, Johnny? How are you, bud?
All right, all right. What's going on, man? It's been a while,
Oh
man.
man, yeah, it's good to see you. Thank you for
Uh,
having me on.
yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you take your afternoon off in the
Yeah.
beautiful, sunny Florida.
Oh,
To
you
talk
already know.
to talk to us. And I hope we don't get you in too much trouble this afternoon because we're gonna ask some questions, some interesting questions, because there is some process that we all go to when we're about to separate or retire from the Navy. And it's very frustrating when you receive those letters and they say, hey, we need you to go to clinics X, Y, and Z. And sometimes it's miles away and you don't even know what to expect. You don't know why they send you there half of the time. And when you show up, everybody's looking at you weird, and you just sit
Oh
there.
yeah.
Because me,
Yep.
based on my experience, I show up and I just sat there and it's like, okay, you the military guy. Okay, have a seat. And then I just, yeah, that's how they did it, man. And I just sat there for like maybe about 15, 20 minutes and they called me back and asked me thousand questions that I don't already fill out the form, answer those thousand questions. And they asked
Uh-huh.
me the same thing and then the doctor came and evaluate you and do his physical exam and stuff. And then they don't tell you anything. And they say, all right,
Yep.
you're done. And you're
High
like,
five.
okay,
You're out of
well,
here. Yep.
yeah, you're like, am I good? I'm not. What's
Yeah.
going on?
When do I get that check? What's happening?
I know, but nobody say anything. They're just like, okay,
Yeah.
um, you finished. They're like, okay, well,
Yep.
my
Thank you for
daddy,
your service. See you later. Uh huh.
yeah. And
Yep.
then you pick up your paperwork. You'd say, do you want to keep this letter? You say, no, nope, you're good to go. Go home.
Yep.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Yeah.
so it's always weird. So I always
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
know, what's the inside scoop? What is this is all about? Is it
Yeah.
something to disqualify us? Is it something to help us? What is it about? So before we get to this, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself for my audience, for those people who's gonna watch this afternoon, so they know who you are and get familiar with you. So when you're answering the questions and talk to us, so you're not a stranger to them.
Sure.
So talk to us,
All
D.
right. All right. So my name is Danny Dodura. I was in the Navy for 20 years. I retired back in 2015, and after retiring, I had a bunch of different jobs. But now I'm working for a company that what we do is military evaluations for people getting ready to get out, retire, and we do retirees. We do reevaluations for people that have um, submitted to have their disability increased. So we do all those evaluations. So yeah, Johnny told me that an opportunity to come on and talk to people about what they expect when they come through, and what you're looking at when you get it in the mail, things like that. So I thought it was really important to come on and talk to them and share a little bit what happens behind the scenes at a clinic like mine. Hopefully, help anybody that's listening to this be prepared when they walk in.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, this program right here, man, I love doing it. I enjoy doing it, man. This is a way for me to connect with old friends like yourself and
Yeah.
meet some new friends and it's just a good way to put the information out, man. I always like when I was getting out, man. I don't know if it's still the same way because I don't do the search anymore. You're on YouTube, you're on everything, you're looking, and to figure out, okay, if somebody can just answer the basic questions. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we did a pretty good job of doing those separation classes and stuff like that. Man, I forgot them about. Is it GPS to GPS? You know,
I think
yeah, I
that's
think
what it
that
was
was the name,
called.
right?
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe the name changed now.
maybe.
But they did a pretty good job of helping with some stuff. But there's a lot of stuff like basic questions that you wanted just a quick glimpse, a quick video of somebody talking about it so you can have an idea. And I couldn't find it. So I think that's why with vet stock, when we talk about those different kind of things was matter to us, not something that somebody manufacturer or selling us or telling you, oh, this is the way to do it or that way. But this is like experience from the horse's mouth itself. So I
Yeah,
appreciate you take the time in and you come down and you talk to us about it. So
absolutely.
last week, I don't know if you saw the show. We had the bear in here, man. He did an
Yeah,
amazing job, man. I mean, I know him way, way, way back from Japan, and he's a crazy dude, man. I appreciate
yeah.
Bear because you are here, and today again, I got another crazy guy over here, man. But D, you remember our time in Jacksonville?
Yo, man, we had so much fun.
But
I
you know
miss
who's
it.
still in?
Hmm.
Gangs.
Oh, I know. Yeah, Sed's still doing his thing, man. Doing big things.
He's gonna be
Proud
McParn.
of
Remember
him.
we used to say that? He said this guy gonna be McParn.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the sky's the limit for Cedric, man. That's my boy. I'm super proud of him.
But I'm telling you, man, I give him 2 more years. We're gonna hear Master
Yeah.
Chief. Give him 3 more. We're gonna be Master Chief of the Navy, man.
Oh
Very good
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
though.
I
Very
got.
good guy.
Oh my gosh,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
very good guy, man. But anyway, so let's talk about that process. So when
All
you're
right.
getting out, you get those letters on the mail, right? And the letters say,
Mm-hmm.
report to this location and see
Right.
this clinic and do X, Y, and Z or whatever.
Yeah.
So what is the process? How does this letter get to me in the first place? How does
Okay.
people know me and know to contact me, have my
Yeah.
information, and send me those letters to come see them?
Okay. So typically, what happens is, right before you get out, you're going to go to an appointment at a disability counselor
Mm-hmm.
or a medical appointment where they're going to go through your entire record. They're going to go through there and start flagging things that you happened to you while you're active duty. That's why it's really important if you're still in that you have everything documented because when you go to that appointment with the disability counselor prior to going to your medical appointments, they're flagging everything that they can find in your record, whether it's a sprained ankle, broken finger, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
scars, everything. They're making sure everything's flagged. Once you go to that appointment, they send that back to the VA. The VA generates an appointment for you, and they
Mm-hmm.
send things to a clinic like mine
Mm-hmm.
where once that's been done, then you're going to get those letters saying, "Hey, we're scheduling appointments for you." Now, my clinic, we call people and schedule the appointment with the person, so you
Mm-hmm.
won't get a letter to come to our clinic until we've actually spoke to you and scheduled that appointment. So hopefully, those letters don't come unannounced and surprise you, but
A couple of
that still
mine, a
does
couple of
happen.
mine back then surprised me. I didn't even know what was
Oh
that
yeah.
about. At
Hmm.
first, I thought
And
it was a scam.
yeah, exactly. And what's funny is I think COVID helped that a lot because they used to do kind of blind scheduling. They get the stuff and they wouldn't even try to contact the veteran. They would just
Mm-hmm.
start scheduling blindly, and it's kind of a crapshoot. Hey, if you
Mm-hmm.
make your appointment, and if you don't make it, like you thought it was a scam,
I
you
did.
don't show up. This guy's a no-show. You only get so many opportunities to no-show those appointments, and then they're like, okay, I guess it wasn't important to you, and they move on to the next claimant.
Oh, we're gonna go to
So
the no-show part. Hold on. So now the clinic received that information from the VA.
mhm,
Then you guys contact us and make the appointment.
yeah,
So now, for some reason or another, you miss that appointment. During that time is a busy time. There's a lot
mhm,
of going on in your head. You're
yeah,
stressed. You
mhm.
can miss one of those appointments. So what happened?
Oh yeah. So after you've no-showed one of those appointments, typically it'll be an 800 number for you to call to
Mm-hmm.
reschedule it. You call that number, reschedule that. You only get one reschedule on that appointment. Once you no-show those appointments, they're going to drop you to the bottom and boot that back to the VA and say, look, the person that doesn't want to come. Um, if you're waiting for that disability and that's important to you,
Mm-hmm.
got to make those appointments. I think a lot of times I think veterans get scared because they don't want people looking at us. All of us have a lot of pride in who
Mm-hmm.
we are and what we do. So it can be scary going in there and be evaluated for everything. I know during my service, I kept my mouth shut about a lot of things that happen because you don't want people to look at you a certain way.
That's the
So,
common way, huh?
oh
The
yeah, yeah,
wrong
keep your
way.
mouth shut. Yeah, exactly. It isn't right. And then you get to these appointments, and you're like, now you have to be really open and honest with different things that are going on with you.
Mhm.
So that's I think the biggest thing is, they're not there trying to do a gotcha type thing. They're
Yeah.
there to really evaluate and make sure that if you have a disability, you're getting evaluated for it through the VA. So
Okay.
yeah, it's
So
real
is
important.
so is it better to reschedule ahead of time instead to just no show? Like for some reason, if I like, oh man, there's no way I'm gonna make this appointment because I have three other appointments back to back,
Mhm.
and is it better for me to call to
Oh yeah.
reschedule?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, make a phone call. Uh, if you do it under 24 hours, it's a
Mhm.
no show. So even if you called 12 hours before your appointment, they're going to put it as a no show. You have to call
Oh,
with more than 24 hours out to let them know, look, I can't make it. To give them an opportunity to put another vet in that appointment, especially when you retire, those are
mhm.
big appointments and it
Yeah.
takes up a lot of the provider's time. So you got to give them time to put somebody else in that appointment slot. You can't make it. If it's going to be last minute, we appreciate the phone call and they might try to get you rescheduled then, but
Mhm.
you're still getting put down as a no show for that because you're not giving enough time to fill that slot.
So the best thing to do is 24 hours. If you have to reschedule, you have to make sure you call 24 hours in advance. If not,
So,
just trying to make it.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So now you show up to the appointment and you
Yeah.
get to that room and all those people just sit there and then they just called you. What is the expectation? Because for us, it's an anxiety builder, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
nervous, you don't know what they're talking about, you know what's wrong with you, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like everybody have a poker face. It's like,
Oh yeah.
everybody just look at you like, okay, come back in, and they just
Mm-hmm.
straightforward compared to like now. I have to say my second one because I went to I think 3 or 4 different appointment, maybe 5, I don't know. My second one was like a regular normal clinic. That was my
Yeah.
mental health one. You
Okay.
called, everybody was friendly or whatever. But my
Mm-hmm.
other ones, it was like everybody saying they wasn't rude, but they was just stone faced. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you military? Have a seat over here. Like
Okay.
what's going on? So is
Yeah.
it what's going on with that? What's up with that, man?
So our clinic, we are really just a military clinic. So
Mhm.
we see everybody's either retired military or getting ready to retire. So my clinic's a little bit different than probably the one that you went to.
Mhm.
And everybody that comes is, getting ready to retire or prior military. So they already know what's going on. When they get there, we get them sat down. A couple of things. When you show up, if you got paperwork, please fill out your paperwork. Don't show up 5 minutes late. You got a packet, you ain't even opened up the packet. I asked my girls at work, I said, hey, what's the one thing I can tell these vets,
Yeah.
that would help you guys out? And they said, please tell people, fill out the paperwork, open up your packet. They come up all the time. Oh, I didn't even open this up. I just knew I had an appointment. And they'll open it up right there.
Yeah.
And then they got a stack of papers they got to fill out. And you're looking at them like, bro, military teaches better than that. Like,
Yeah.
you showed up late, you don't got nothing filled out. So show up early. Make sure you have your paperwork filled out. And if you don't, show up a little bit earlier so they can print out your paperwork. If you think there's stuff to fill out, show up a little bit early. That way they can print it out for you and get you prepared so that when you go back to see the doctor, you got all your stuff filled out.
It's better to,
So,
because I think when I received my package when I was getting out, it's one of them was thick. It was a lot of
mm-hmm.
paperwork, but
Yeah.
there's some question. It's not like you don't know the answer. You're like, okay, what they trying to ask because it was
Yeah.
so vague.
Mm-hmm.
So I leave some of those blanks because
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to ask question. It's not like you got a number you can call and say, hey, what are you trying to ask about this? Because the question is
Mm-hmm.
vague. So it's
Yeah.
better to
Yeah.
do that, right? At least
Oh,
fill
yeah.
the demographics out.
Yeah, fill out whatever you can, and then if you have questions, when you get back there with the doctor. VA sends us electronic record
Mm-hmm.
of whatever your record is. So if there's a question about something you couldn't fill it out, you can tell the doctor, and they'll go over that with you and make sure that you have a good understanding of at least what they're asking, because the doctor's got to fill that out. If it's on that paperwork, the doctor's got to put it in his system. So they want you to have at least try your best, and then you can ask the doctors the questions. At least doctors at my clinic, they're going to be straightforward with you and
Mm-hmm.
break it down for you so you understand what they're asking.
Okay, good, good, good. Now I know you hear you got some stuff for us from that side, but for us,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like why everybody you didn't answer that question really. Why everybody is stone faced? Like they just but maybe your clinic is not like that.
My
Like you
clinic's
say,
different. Yeah.
you use to military folks, but some of the clinic I went to, I think they were
Mhm.
kind of mixed. I think they were seeing regular patients, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, they do have a lot of that too. Yeah.
And everybody was like, it was scary because for us as a veteran, it's very frustrating. Right,
Mhm.
there's that anxiety factor. There
Yeah.
is a mountain of paperwork you got to do. There
Hmm.
is training you have to do. There
Yeah.
is information that you think you get, you don't get, and especially if you
Yeah.
waited the last minute. And
Yeah.
higher your pay grade, uh, more difficult it gets, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because you got so much stuff to do, you might don't have the same amount
Yeah.
of time as everybody to work on yourself to get those things
Hmm.
done. So with that much anxiety, and we show up and find people so straightforward, we increase
Hmm.
the pressure.
Yeah.
So is it a tactic you guys use that you have to
Nah.
be like that, or it's just the
No,
clinic I went to?
I just think the clinic you went to, my clinic, the girls are super personable. The girls at my clinic have been doing it for, 6, 7 years working for this company. And, they're very personable. They'll laugh and joke around with the claimants as they come in. And, if we got something going wrong, I'll go out there and I'll talk to the people. If their provider's running behind for some reason or something's going on, if they were late, I'll go out and talk to them, see if we can, squeeze them in, stuff like
Mhm.
that. We're pretty personable where I'm at, but,
Okay.
every clinic's different, but like I said, ours that's who we deal with. We're not some hybrid clinic, and we do have
Mhm.
those in our area where they do military evaluation, and I guess that I do
Yeah.
dermatology on the side. Thanks, doc, but
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
our clinic. All we do is these military evaluations. So
Well,
you
that's
know,
pretty cool, man. So
yeah,
now, in your side, what
yeah,
should we do to make your guys' life easier, to make the process easier? Because you see how
yeah,
you say earlier, your staff say, hey, when you're talking in vet talk, make sure you tell those veterans, fill out your paperwork before you
yeah,
show up. Don't miss
yeah,
your appointment. Don't call less than 24 hours because you'll
yeah,
be a no-show. So
yeah,
what else? What else? Tell us some more stuff that we need to be aware of.
yeah. So one thing that we run into a lot is people come in and go, oh, but my arm got broken and I got these extra X-rays, but I didn't bring the X-rays. Right. Bring
Oh.
bring any extra paperwork you have. If there's something that happened that it may not be in your military
Mm-hmm.
record. Bring that with you too. They can scan stuff. We can get stuff added.
Yeah.
So bring the stuff that you want us to add if you need it added. A lot of times you'll see that a lot of that where we're waiting to get something submitted. We have a high turnaround rate with
Mm-hmm.
with our reports. So if you got something that we're waiting for, it's real important that you bring whatever extra documentation you may have. Our whole goal is to do the best thing for the veteran and get all their stuff in. So that's a huge thing that happens on a pretty regular basis. People coming in and don't have the right paperwork for us to add.
Especially your brothers and sisters who are recruiters, they
Yeah.
see at civilian hospital. So
Hmm.
even though if those paperwork did not get to the VA, like images, right, like X-ray, CAT scan, MRI,
Hmm.
ultrasound,
Yeah.
I don't know, PET scan, whatever it is. So we need to make sure to get all those information from the civilian facility and
Yeah.
bring it with us to the appointment, and
Yes.
you guys will take care of the rest.
Absolutely. So they'll be asking all these questions when you go into that
Mm-hmm.
appointment. And if you have something that you went to that DAV counselor and they
Mm-hmm.
said, these are all the things in this record, and something that happened on the outside they don't know about, but you were
Mm-hmm.
active duty, and you come and tell them, if you bring that documentation, when they start asking you questions, and you tell them,
Mm-hmm.
they can add that disability on there, and they can scan the paperwork to justify, the disability, and kind of gives you that backup. So that would be a huge help if people would do that.
Okay, yeah, because that was one of my things because I think I had a couple stuff that I was seeing in the ER,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember. I think I went with my a CD. It was a CD that I had with me, so it's very
Okay.
important that you carry. Okay, you
Yep.
carry those
Bring
images from
everything.
those X-rays, and
Mm-hmm.
especially if you go to a civilian ER, because sometimes
Yes.
we tend to forget, like if you're in an area where there's small clinics and there is not
Mm-hmm.
a military hospital, and
Yeah.
most of your care is done in the civilian community. So we also have to make sure we have those documentation with us. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. What else? What else? Tell us more.
Whew. So I think if you're showing up on time, show up early. Be polite. The people at the window, we get a lot of people coming up and they go, when am I going to get my results from this? A couple things we don't do. We don't actually do the rating. We're doing the
Mm-hmm.
evaluation. The VA does the rating.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. I couldn't tell you. So I have people that get really frustrated. So after they have that appointment, they're calling. They're frustrated. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got my rating yet. You were seen a month ago in my clinic. I don't retain your records. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Okay.
Call the VA. The VA has your stuff. So after we do our evaluation and we send that in, our evaluation is usually done within 48 hours.
Hmm.
Reports turned in, sent back to the VA. Then it's on the VA to get those ratings. So yeah, we're not actually rating you for anything. We're just verifying that you have a disability.
Okay. So you guys
And
don't play a role in the rating at all. You guys just is saying yes or no. I see something or don't see something. That's it.
that's it.
Okay.
And they talk about how much of like if you're saying that you don't have range of motion or something, they talk
Yeah.
about they'll do measurements to see what that range of motion is, things like
Yeah.
that. But our providers don't make any determination when it comes to what the actual rating is. So
Yeah.
when people come in there and they ask those questions, our doctors are like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Out of all my providers, I only have one that was previous active duty. The rest of them are all civilians.
They
So
have no clue
other
what
than
you're
my
asking.
no, they don't. They don't know. They don't. They really don't. Some of them don't even understand the whole process. They just know that the ones that are working in our clinic, they're there because they want to help the military. They know it's a really good job. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
me and the other prior military guys going, "Oh my God, we're doing such a great thing." You know, but it's hard to put that make them understand sometimes that when people come in, some of that anxiety and stuff you talk about,
Mm-hmm.
letting them understand what it's like from a service member's perspective, because like you said, you come in there, you're really anxious. Why am what is this appointment going to do? And you know the providers at my clinic, we really try to set people mind at ease that hey, we're going to take a look at these things.
But I'm
So
not gonna lie. I was about to call because there was one I did, and I'm like, man, it's just because that clinic, those people are just like, I won't say rude, but they was stone faced, and it take
yeah,
like I don't know about 10, 15 days after, man. I didn't know. So that's good
yeah,
information you give. I was about to call the clinic and say, hey, where's my result? Because
right, yeah,
they did all kind of stuff, all kind of
mm-hmm.
measurement, and then they send
Yep,
you home, and nobody
yep,
tells you anything. So I think
yeah,
like if people work in those areas, be good to at least let us
mm-hmm.
know. Listen, hey, when we finish
Yeah,
here, we're gonna send you home. We're gonna send all your information to the VA, and you're done. If you got a
yes,
question, you need to contact the VA, not us,
exactly,
because
yeah,
if we have that piece of information, we probably won't try to call. But
right, yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
that. I'm like, I need to know what's up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Once they submit
Mhm.
that record, the record's gone. They can't even see your record after that. It's the records
So,
on our property or anything we do is sent to the VA. We don't retain any of that stuff. So
so no,
yeah, once you're
nothing is
done,
retained. Everything is digital. Everything
mm-hmm.
is sent away, and then
Yep,
we deal with the VA, and you guys do
yep,
the evaluation.
yeah.
God,
What
that's.
one thing, Johnny, and
Mm-hmm,
something I've seen a lot, and I've only been with this company for a little while,
mm-hmm,
is people coming in, going, you know, I did my 4 months or I did my 2 years in the military, and my knees are hurting really bad, and I don't have range of motion. These doctors they're not dummies. So as they're looking at this, be honest with
be
these docs.
honest. Yeah.
My providers have come and got me multiple times and said, go over people saying stuff like that, and they'll say they're saying this, but then you sit there and watch them and observe. They're
Mm-hmm,
bending over, untying shoes, or doing things like that, and you're looking
mm-hmm.
at them like, come on, bro. Like, you probably have enough going on. You don't have to lie about,
Yeah.
your back hurts, you can't bend over. I've seen them come through. You've been in 4 months in the military getting admin up, and
Mm-hmm.
you trying to, going for the 100%. Like, go in there and be honest. You'll get the percentage you deserve, and you can
Yeah.
always come back for reevaluation. Anything that you get rated 0% for, you can come back and be reevaluated for.
Yeah.
Come back and if you think you were rated wrong, as long as it's if it's in there service connected, go back and get reevaluated. I went and got something reevaluated. Process was really quick. Once they reevaluated, boom,
Mm-hmm.
got that bumped up.
Okay.
But
And you
yeah,
doesn't it doesn't mean you go into that same clinic anyway. Get reevaluated, you
exactly,
might end up somewhere else. I think the
exactly, yeah,
problem with reevaluation too, some people are kind of afraid when they have to get a portion reevaluated.
uh huh,
They they tend to think they're gonna get the whole thing reevaluated. So I'm
Right.
trying to get one of those guys who do those class. You know, when you separating and they do the
The
VA
TAPS class
class.
thing.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, but they mainly focus on the VA portion. You
Okay.
know, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to get him on in one of those lives, but I'm still
Yeah.
working on it. I don't have a good contact for one yet, but I'm still
Yeah.
working on it. But yeah, so be honest and tell them what's up because
Yeah.
lying is just gonna make it worse anyway. You
Right.
know.
Yeah. And for the things, if you want something reevaluated, if when you go online and you do your
Mhm.
paperwork for the VA, and you say I need these things reevaluated, they can. Like when I did mine, everything I had 0%. I said I want all this reevaluated.
Mhm.
They couldn't ask me about anything that I was already evaluated on. My exam
Okay.
was strictly on the things that I asked to be reevaluated. So, if you're sitting at 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever your percentage
Mhm.
is, you can't go no lower than zero. So they
Okay.
can't drop your percentage on those things that are zero, and they're not going to ask you anything about any other disabilities. If you're requesting it, they're only going to do the things that you asked them to do.
Now, did you do that process before your final percentage, like when you know how you review it, or after you receive it and you're like, oh no,
I
I
did
need
mine
you to reevaluate?
5 years after my initial evaluation.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. So they only
Yep.
looked those areas and say, okay, I need you guys to look at X, Y, and Z,
Mm-hmm.
and reevaluate me for it because I think you were wrong, and they
I think
start the
it's
process.
gotten worse. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
And
Yep.
there's a
And they
lot.
flag it, and so for my specific situation, I hadn't gone to the doctor. I had no medical documentation to say that it gotten worse. I just
Yeah.
said, it was in there, existed prior to, or not. I'm sorry, not
Mm-hmm.
EPTE, but it was in there, service connected, and in my shoulder. And so when I went in there and I talked to the doctor and we did range of motion and things, it was from my evaluation when I got out to the evaluation that she did,
Mm-hmm.
the range of motion had
Mm-hmm.
deteriorated, and you know it. I didn't go to an ER. I didn't go get seen. Didn't
Yeah.
have anything done. But based on that, 5 years later, they were able to up my percentage
Okay.
based on the lack of range of motion. So, if you have something and you're like, hey, they just got this wrong, put in and be specific about which disabilities you're having reevaluated. If you put something that's already, let's say you got something at 30%, and you put be reevaluated, and they look at it and go, well, this got better. You
Yeah.
you could lose
And you
some
can lose
percentage,
a percentage. Yeah.
but you can't go lower than zero. So
Sure.
it ain't gonna hurt to have something that's zero reevaluated.
Okay, good. Now I got a question. I don't know if you're able to answer that. Got one of my neighbors. He's in his, I don't know, maybe 60s. Retired from the Air Force. Was he in the Air Force or the Army? I don't know. Air Force or the Army. Never did a VA evaluation. None. Is it too late for him to start that process? I mean, because every
No,
time I try to talk to him, I tell him it's not too late. But
no.
he's afraid they won't find his medical record because it was way back in the 70s, 80s.
Oh yeah,
You
no.
know.
Have him go get in contact with the VA. He can go down to the American Legion or somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to somebody. You should have a county rep. There's all kinds of people we can reach out to.
Yeah.
They can get him started with that paperwork. He needs to go. We get old retired vets that have never been evaluated.
Mm-hmm.
Been out of the military for years
Yeah.
and coming through and finally getting that evaluation done. It's really important for those old guys to go do that. Now he's not going to get back paid to the
No.
time,
No.
but he'll
He'll get it where
that
the process start though.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean it's really important. He could be sitting on, if nothing else, maybe get his medical benefits and stuff from the
Yeah.
VA. But he really needs to reach out to them and get that process started, and he'll benefit from it, I promise.
Yeah. And I got somebody else who's very close to me, and this boy was in the army, man, and went to Iraq. I think went Iraq and Afghanistan, and he come back. He said, "Yeah, I don't need to do no evaluation."
Oh
And
man.
he I think he did 6 or 8 years in the army. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like those type of information. I don't know, for some branch of the services, the information did not get there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I know for us, when I was in Jacksonville, for us, period, in the Navy, it's like
Hmm.
constant. I say, hey, you got to
Yeah.
make sure you get this. You got to make sure you get this. You got to make sure you get this. But I found out
100%.
that a lot of our brothers in the Army and the Marines, when I talk to them, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they didn't get the information, but they never went through the process and get evaluated. Because this is the problem. When you're young, it's good. You
Hmm.
might not feel that back pain, that knee pain, that fracture you have in your ankle, your hands, or whatever.
Hmm. Yep.
But when you started to get older, and
Hmm.
then
Oh
this
yeah.
thing become like develop arthritis, you start to
Hmm.
have all kind of trouble. You
Yep.
know, who's gonna take care of it? You know how expensive healthcare is.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, now your family have to
Yep.
figure out how to help you. When the
Yeah.
whole time, if you went to the process, even if it was 0%, at
Hmm.
least, at least
Yeah.
now it got worse. At least somebody will evaluate you. At least you get to, at least you'll be able to receive the medical care.
Exactly. Yeah. Because
You
if it's
know,
service connected, you're going to get medical care at the VA. They're going to take
yeah,
care of it if it's service connected. And
yeah,
most, when you look back at, especially our, our soldier, the people in the Army, the Marine Corps, they work those guys hard. So
yeah.
if you're walking out of the Marine Corps and you don't have knee problems or back problems, I don't know what you were doing, but those guys get
He
worked.
wasn't a
And
Marine.
man, those guys, they work so hard.
Those
So
guys, man.
yeah, getting that evaluation just to get it documented so that when those things do come up, that you can go in there and that's going it's going to be worth so much to you in the future. So
Yeah,
it's real important for
the
those
and
guys.
the other thing too, man, is I mean I know we're very prideful and like no, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, but do, do it for your family.
Yes. Yeah.
Do it for your family
Yep.
because at the end of the day, they're the one who's gonna end up taking care of you.
Yeah.
They're the one who's
Absolutely.
gonna watch out for you. And
Hmm.
that pride is good, but it's also more prideful if you go through the process and do the stuff you need
Yeah.
to get done. The way I see it, man, it's just any process when you're in the military.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the end process. That's all it is. You had a
Hmm.
process to get in, you had a
Yep.
process to stay in, and you got a process when you get out. You
Right.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yep.
and, and just get it done and get it taken care of. It's not that scary. Man, I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man, because when
Yeah.
I was going to those clinics, man, I didn't know what to expect. And I'm hoping
Yeah.
whoever watched this live later on or watch the video understand the process now because there's a couple things you said was very important. Like I told you, when I first received my letter, I thought it was a scam.
Hmm.
And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go anywhere. Now I
Hmm.
do have to say they did call me 24 hours prior to my appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was a confirmation. They called me and
Yeah.
say, "We're calling to confirm an appointment." I'm like, "What appointment?"
Yeah.
And then that's when they said, "Well, we
Hmm.
send you a letter," and they give me the
Uh-huh.
clinic name. I'm like, I thought it was a scam. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't even
Yep.
have that. I threw the letter away. You know, just
Yeah.
don't worry about it. They
Yep.
give me the address and stuff like that, and I end up going.
Yeah.
So the fact that your facility is calling like way prior or us received the
Hmm.
letter is very
Yeah.
good because
Yeah.
I think that's a process that all of them should adopt, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
the one who didn't
Yeah.
call me is the hybrid clinic that I went to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They
It's the
didn't care.
hybrid clinic I went to. But
Yep.
I think the fact that they call ahead of time is good. And the other thing
Yeah.
you mentioned the no show. I did not know
Yeah.
about that. I did not know if you
Yeah.
no show two times after that they send your
Yeah.
information back
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
you have to wait and probably sometimes that's what make the process longer.
Right. Yeah. You're gonna end up having to resubmit everything and start your process all over again. Again, it should be a priority for every veteran, and
Yeah,
we're setting aside the time for you. So make it a priority. And we know stuff comes up. That's why
yeah.
we try to be flexible as we can. So if something comes up that day of, call, see what you can do.
Hmm.
See if I will try to juggle schedule if we can, but at a lot of times,
Yeah,
it's people I forgot. I'm like, again, as a veteran, I get so frustrated sometimes. I'm like, you forgot. Like,
yeah,
come on, man.
it happened. Oh man,
Yeah.
hi Captain Michael. I had to say hello to Captain Michael. That's my old captain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's so that two no show, then your paperwork go on the bottom. They go back to the
Yep.
VA.
back to the
And
VA. VA does whatever they do with it. It ain't coming back. It may come back to my clinic later, but
yeah.
after those no shows, and I'm pretty sure now, at least the paperwork I got for my reevaluation, it said,
Mhm.
if you have two no shows, you're gonna have to restart your whole process. So especially for those reevals, that's a huge deal because you're asking for the reeval.
Yeah.
So
So
but
whatever
yeah,
you do, don't miss that appointment. At least
don't miss
call
the
24
appointment.
hour prior and
Yeah,
reschedule. Because
reschedule,
if
please.
before you guys send the paperwork back, if we have a chance to reach out to you and we
Yeah,
schedule, it's easier, right? Then
yeah,
there's nothing to
exactly.
go
Yeah.
back to, right?
Yeah, you can reschedule if you need to. That's not a big deal. But yeah, so there's no shows, Max. It
Now,
takes a lot
how
out of
many
the
chance
clinic.
we have for that rescheduling? Can we reschedule
Yeah,
two, three times?
I don't know. Yeah, as much as I guess as long as you need. Now they do a good job at entering notes. They're putting that in. Person reschedule, person reschedule.
Yeah.
So I don't know what point the VA is going to go. Look, I don't know what's going on with this person, but as long as you're giving them time, I
Mhm.
said it ain't nothing for us.
Yeah.
To push you down the road if it's not working out for you time
Yeah.
wise.
Okay, good. And then the other thing you mentioned was very important. It's the paperwork. The paperwork we receive prior to that appointment. We have to make
Mm-hmm.
sure we fill it out. So
Yeah.
is it the reason for it? Like if we show up over there, you're busy and we didn't fill out the paperwork, then we gotta wait, right? So you're gonna go to the next patient.
Well, so again, like typically, if you're retiring, your appointment slot's pretty long. So but you're doing yourself a disservice because you
Mm-hmm.
got to get that stuff filled out because that's what the doctor's going to use. I have one provider that girl can type, and she'll say, "I can type quicker than that person can write," and she'll get you in there and she'll type while you're talking. I mean, she's amazing. She's the only provider that I have that can do it like that. The rest of them need you to write it down because
Yeah.
there's so much information to do the right thing for you. We need it written so that the doctor can go back and read through your stuff and concentrate on that evaluation. So if you got a stack of papers that you didn't fill out, you know, you're really doing yourself a disservice and you're taking away time from your evaluation. If you don't get that paperwork in the mail, which that happens sometimes, we'll get somebody scheduled 24 hours before the appointment. You know, they ain't going to get that FedEx package with all their paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So tell people that happens. Show up early because typically there's going to be some paperwork for you to fill out.
Damn. Well, now when you go there, you only get evaluated based on what they send. So if they send it for your shoulder, you're only gonna get seen for your shoulder. You're not gonna get seen for your eyes, right?
Mm, so no. So if you're coming for a reevaluation, you're only
Mm-hmm.
going to get reevaluated for what you've been asked to be reevaluated for. So if you come for your shoulder like I did,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to reevaluate your shoulder, not worry about nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody retiring or just getting out of the military,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to do a full evaluation. So even if it isn't necessarily flagged, as they're asking questions, and they find something that wasn't necessarily flagged in your record,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to create another disability based on what they find.
Mm-hmm.
So you know they'll create some if you're retiring, but that doesn't happen for your reevaluation stuff. When you come for a reevaluation, it's just that one thing. But for your retirement, just because they didn't flag it, if you bring it up and say that something happened to you on active duty and they can find it in your record, you'll get evaluated for that too.
Okay. And lastly, one of the other things you talk about was for the paperwork that we get from the civilian ER or civilian provider, because sometimes they can refer you out of town to a civilian
Mm-hmm.
provider. So we have
Yep.
to make sure we get copy of
Oh yeah.
all those paperwork.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
if we're getting evaluating for that reason, bring those
Mm-hmm.
copies with us, including
Yes.
CDs who got your X-rays, your MRI, your ultrasound, your PET
Yep.
scan, whatever.
Yep.
Just
Bring
bring
it.
it. Even if
Yep.
not in your military medical record, you
Right.
guys will ensure you get that type of information back to the VA that will bring to you.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Damn, man, you give me a lot of information, but and I hope that type of information be able to help somebody. So,
Yeah.
and you say we should have no fear when we come over there. That anxiety, like man, them people over there gonna cheat me out of my money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So not
Yeah.
worry about that. You guys actually there
Yeah.
to just evaluate and help the process go
Yeah.
smoother.
Right, absolutely. And I understand that fear. I think we all, all of us that have gotten out, we had that.
Mhm.
Trust that process, and the people that are there, they're there because they want to help veterans. They're not there to scrutinize and judge you. They're there for a good reason. So, help them help you by, coming in there with, leave your anxiety at the door. We're there to help. You know.
So how do you guys end up? Well, you said earlier your clinic only do active duty. So did the VA just randomly pick where they're gonna send us, or they just send us to the facility that was closer? Because for me, one of mine was in Tampa, and I was in Jacksonville, and I
Okay.
ended up going in Tampa. Now I don't know, it's because in my paperwork I put I was retiring in Orlando, and
Yeah, maybe,
Tampa
maybe
is
Johnny, maybe you did that to yourself, sir.
yeah, and Tampa is closer to Orlando, but I ended up going all the way to Tampa.
So they there's multiple clinics that do what we do.
Hmm.
I don't know that there's a rhyme or a reason on why one company gets the evaluation over another. I know that
Hmm.
I've had people come to my clinic, and we typically get people in pretty quick,
Hmm.
and they've said, "Look, I was waiting for months to get in with this other clinic. I was able to get in with you guys within a couple of days." So I don't know why the VA will choose a different area for
Hmm.
you. I'm sure that you got sent where you that sent because you put down Orlando as your home.
Yeah,
So that's all on you there, Johnny Jaguar. Um,
yeah,
yeah, that is self-inflicted. But there's a clinic in Orlando, so
yeah.
um, I don't I don't fully
I
understand why
think
they
one
would
of
send you to
one of
Tampa.
mine was in Orlando. I had one done in
Yeah.
Orlando, and I had one done
Hmm.
in Tampa, but I was still in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, wherever you put your location, like I filed for my reevaluation. I was in Indiana. Now I knew I was
Hmm.
moving to Florida, so I used my Florida address when I did that, so that my appointment would be here in Florida. Had
Okay.
I been up in Indiana and moved down here, my appointment would have been in Indiana, and they'd be like, "Okay, well, you got to get up here because this is where we scheduled you at."
Oh damn.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, make
Mm.
sure if you're planning on moving before that evaluation is going to happen, make sure you put the right location.
Yeah. And the other part you mentioned that I appreciate is the reevaluation. So even if you got a zero percentage rating in your evaluation, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever years after, if you
Right.
feel like that it got worse or something need to be changed, you can actually try to get a reevaluation to get
Yep.
seen by one of those clinics again and
Yep.
to help you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you go through your American Legion,
Hmm.
Disability Council, DAV,
Hmm.
they can assign you a counselor that can help you with that process.
Yeah.
I filed all my stuff online. I did my intention to file with a county representative up in Indiana. He faxed in my paperwork so that they put my intent to file. You
Yeah.
have Once you do that intent to file, you have 1 year to file. And so from the day that I did my intention to file,
Hmm.
I filed. If you get it, if that disability is evaluated for a percentage, that gets backdated to the date you put your intent to file. So up to a year out. So if you file this month that you want to do it, and it takes you 9 months to get everything in, you'll be back paid to the day you put that intent.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other part you mentioned is for like people like my neighbor and say, hey, you guys are used to have veterans who's been out for 20, 40, 50 years and they still
Yep.
come to you
Yep.
guys to get evaluated.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's never too late. Yeah, if you haven't been evaluated, go talk to a disability counselor, go to the American Legion, go somewhere. They'll get you a representative to help you through the process and get that started because there's benefits out there for you as a veteran from the VA. They want to get you taken care of.
Hmm. All right. Man, brother, I took almost like 45 minutes of your time. We
Yeah,
started when
man.
the sun was still out. Now it's getting dark. I appreciate it. And
Yeah, man.
you're welcome on this platform anytime. And
Yeah.
whenever I go to the Panhandle, I'll let you know. Stop by.
Yeah, you come on out here to the Redneck Riviera, man. We'll take good care of you, Johnny.
Well, I
We
stop
got you,
by and
bro.
get a coffee.
There you go. Yeah, I told you my pool's perfect for you.
I know, man. Let's not tell the people the story of the pool,
Okay.
man.
All right.
we
But
we let that for Luke.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, let Lou tell it.
I'm sure there's a video out there about that pool, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you
Yeah.
take the time, and I'm giving you the last word and put you like I do with all of my guests. I give you guys the last word, put you on the big screen, and whatever that last word is, let us know it.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for having me, Johnny. I appreciate it. Vets, go out there and get that evaluation if you haven't had it done, man. It's really important. It's there for you guys. They're doing a great job at taking care of us veterans. And Johnny, hey, it's been great. Jaguar, I appreciate you having me on, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking the
Yeah,
time and show up.
yeah.
Let's see if we get some good music to get out of here. So during
All
that
right.
music time, man, that's where I create my end cards. So if you can dance like the bear, it'll be good. But I doubt it. The
Oh
bear
yeah,
was said.
yeah. I ain't doing that. Yeah, man. I
I
mean,
know,
all
right? All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. And be easy.
right.
Hey, everybody was under the live. Thank you very much. For those of you who's gonna watch after, we appreciate it. I hope the information was helpful. And if you have more questions, just hit us up, send us a message, and we're trying to reach out to Dan if he can help you out to answer your question. He answer your question. All right, guys. Have a good night. Take care. Later, D.
Later, man. I'll see you.
See you.